I want to talk about something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Telekinesis. The ability to move objects with a mind. By far my favorite fictional superpower. Like, just think of all the stuff you could do. You could move things. Throw things. Telekinesis. If you saw the title of the video, hopefully, you know I want to dig deep into the true abilities of this superpower. I feel like a lot of people see it just as, you can move stuff without touching it. But I see it as something far greater. So let's get into it. Disclaimer. Before we continue, I want everyone to understand that telekinesis is a fictional superpower. It is not real, and no one can use this superpower in real life. Okay? To uncover its true power, let's define our terms. We are going to use Merriam-Webster to do so. First, telekinesis, by definition, is the production of motion in objects, as by a spiritualistic medium, without contact or other physical means. Okay, let's go deeper by defining objects. It is defined, within this context, as something material that may be perceived by the senses. Now, here's where this gets interesting. 3 questions need to be asked. First, what counts as an object? Well, the 3 possible forms of objects are solids, liquids, and gases. Solids and liquids can definitely be experienced by the senses. But how about gases? Well, to me, it's obvious. Can you feel wind? If that isn't the gases of the wind, what are you feeling? So, yeah, we can conclude that any type of objects, including solids, liquids, and gases, can be moved by telekinesis. Okay, the second and less important question. What parts of objects can you grab? First, solids. Our example object will be an empty Samsung 28 cubic feet 4-door French door refrigerator. There are 4 shiny doors equipped with convenient handles and a water and ice dispenser. Please sponsor me, Samsung. Technically, this amazing fridge is a whole object. But consider this. It is made of a lot of very well-made parts. Would these parts, separated, still be considered objects? Well, yeah. And for liquids and gases, I think it's kind of the same thing. You can just grab different proportions of a liquid or gas. Alright, we answered questions 1 and 2. Question 3. How strong is the telekinesis? This is a tricky question. How exactly is the spiritualistic medium of telekinesis connected to the physical endurance and strength of its user? This is a very important question. I can't just leave it up to interpretation or whatever. Okay, I've thought about it for many minutes and have concluded the following. Telekinesis can be just about as strong as you want if you try. It doesn't make any sense that the spiritualistic medium, something that has no direct existence in the physical dimension, would be tethered to the endurance and strength of its user, something that only exists in the physical dimension. Telekinesis can be strong or weak, whatever you do, or move, telekinate. Yeah, telekinate. Now that we have answered all 3 of these questions, we are more equipped for me to show you all the amazing possibilities of telekinesis. First off, transportation. When you think of transportation via telekinesis, you probably think of riding on an object that's being telekinated by its rider. But, I query this. What if you pick yourself up? You could create some crazy speed, because the center of acceleration, presumably your hands, is always ahead of the center of the object of movement, or your body. This creates sort of a perpetual motion thing that could make you go crazy fast. But be careful doing this, you could... That. Not to mention, this also gives all the superheroes a reason to put their hands in front of them while flying. Number 2. Demolition. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say on this one. But, as said before, telekinesis can be just about as strong as you want if you try. So you could demolish virtually anything. Before I started working on this video, I had gotten a brilliant idea that would fit into this purpose category. What if you took each individual molecule of an object, and then just spread them all apart? You could atomize anything. Car, atomize, building, Atomize your arch nemesis. Actually, don't atomize them. Share with them the gospel. And then if they don't reciprocate, atomize them. And finally, transmutation. It's more innocent than it sounds, okay? So, you know how we can grab any part of objects and stuff? Well, I know from science that molecules form when atoms form a bond, by electrons moving from one atom to another or by two atoms sharing one or multiple electrons. Back to telekinesis, if you could very precisely form bonds with a ton of atoms, you could fabricate a new element. When I say new element, I mean two atoms combined to make a pre-existing element that wasn't in its form previously. Though, I do wonder if you could make entirely new elements. I don't really have time for that. This script is getting pretty lengthy. Let's use the example of table salt, scientifically known as sodium chloride. You could take a ton of sodium and a bunch of chlorine and bond all the atoms together to make a ton of salt. I love salt. Okay, so the editor is now supposed to make a smooth transition into the outro, so... Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant about a fictional superpower. I'm going to start dabbling into these commentary rant-style videos. I previously had one about the Super Bowl, but I decided that was too risky, because some people get irrationally mad about everything. So, yeah, if you enjoyed, hit the like button, and subscribe to become one of the first 50 intelligent people. That's with an apostrophe. Thankful for you watching.